despite police clearing out several encampments on school grounds overnight.
And we've seen demonstrations from coast to coast, scuffles breaking out between police and protesters at the University of Wisconsin in Madison this morning. And that standoff follows violent clashes erupted on the UCLA campus between rival demonstrators on Tuesday night.
Roughly 300 people have been arrested overnight in New York City, and you're seeing there police called in to respond to protests on Columbia University's campus as pro-Palestinian demonstrators occupied one of the school's main halls.
Our Lilia Luciano is at Columbia University. There's a protest taking place there right now. So Lilia, what is happening? Can you tell us a little bit more? And we also understand that the president of Columbia University has responded.
So, Lana, just to set the scene a little bit here, look, I was here when we last spoke, when I last came live. This was very quiet. It was the quiet after last night. Police came in and, as you mentioned, arrested about 109 students from within the university after the nearly 2 week long encampment and the ultimate occupying of that Hamilton Hall. Earlier, just about an hour ago, maybe less than that, we started seeing people gather here. We heard from faculty members and from students, and the main message that they were sending was denouncing the use of police. They have signs that say shame on the president of the university for bringing in the police. They then started to narrate from their perspective where the negotiations had failed between the administration and students. They were saying, and student organizers and the faculty members who are supporting or who are in a way also being part of the pro-Palestinian protest that was happening in the encampment. They said that the university didn't allow those professors to come in, to step in and negotiate and basically serve as a buffer or a negotiator between students, organizers, and the university administration, and that ultimately, because they reached an impasse and couldn't agree on what the students were asking, that's when things started to escalate. Once the university had announced that they were going to bring in NYPD, and then they occupied the building. What we're hearing is more of the chants, of course, bringing back focus to their opposition to the war. But some of the things that were interesting to hear earlier from, including professors, they're talking about, bringing historical context about the amount of times that Columbia University students have protested peacefully and sometimes less so in a way occupying that same Hamilton Hall, and saying that history had proven the Columbia students right, that history showed that they were on the right side of history. Of course, what's been very interesting in this protest is that this protest has had various sides. We have also been hearing from Jewish students who have told us that they did not feel safe on campus, that the encampment inside was one thing, but that there were all these other protests happening outside. So once the protest is taking from inside the university, where for days it was students going in and for certain brief moments press going in, now they're starting to happen outside. And of course, outside means that anybody can join the protest. Right now we can tell, there's the faculty who are speaking, the faculty wearing the vest, the students, but we'll see where this gets to, and if at any point there's going to be a counter protest, we will continue to inform.
And Lilia, it's fascinating to watch this unfold in real time, because a short time ago, the university president, Manu Shafiq, released a statement saying she's filled with deep sadness, but she basically explained what you just said. Some professors have mentioned that there's always been a long tradition on this campus of protesting the Vietnam War, anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa, but she says that she called in the NYPD because outside agitators had taken over that hall, and that the point in which the protesters damage property, insult staff, and have anti-Semitic comments is where she draws the line. And that's why I guess now also they're going to have all finals as being remote. How does any of this factor into what you're seeing and witnessing? Because it sounds like the university president is struggling. The president is not commenting specifically, but they're watching this. What does it all look like and feel like where you are?
So it's very interesting because we get to witness the comments from the university and then hear from faculty members and students here who it's like everything. There is a timeline, and different sides have different explanations and rundowns. What the protesters here, what the faculty members here were saying was that exactly that there is a history to this, and that there was no need for the university to call in the police, not after the Hamilton Hall had been occupied, but before that, at the time that they were told that they were going to clear the encampment, which had been a peaceful encampment inside of the campus with the tents, with the rules, but that the university, in the effort to silence their voices or in the effort to preserve commencement from happening in a couple of weeks, just decided to start telling them you have to clear at this deadline or else. There were also threats of other disciplinary actions that these professors and these faculty members and these students say they're against, because they say that there were an infringement in their free speech. So basically they're saying you can't have it both ways. You can't send the police to us, say that NYPD is going to clear this encampment, and then at the same time say that they're entitled to their free speech. The security thing is also a very important factor here. I mean, certainly once the hall had been occupied, NYPD had been talking about and citing the university about those outside voices. And the outside voices and the outside agitators is something that both the city and the university had quoted. And in some cases, talking about people who had come to show solidarity with the encampment. In other cases, known activists who were seen by NYPD or by university security directing or telling students what to do. What I hear from students, what I hear from faculty is we don't need any outside voices telling us what to do. We know why we are here. These are Ivy League students, very educated, knowing why they started to protest in the first place and standing their ground on what they want to see, which is the end of the war in Gaza, the end of the killing, and of course, like everyone else, a ceasefire. So it's been very fascinating to hear what they're saying, not so much in the chants, but in the communications and in the details of the timeline and how that might contrast with what the university is saying.
Yeah, all of this continuing to unfold really all over the country. Lilia Luciano, we appreciate that update. Thank you.
Thank you.
Protests just continue.
Okay, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, let me read this precept real quick. Precept, prophecy. You can see things are heating up with these protests. But this is prophecy. Again, this is prophecy. This was all spoken of in the scriptures, things that are going to happen in these last days. First, let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. Salakia for the chicken in the background. But, comes with the territory. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world. We are living in the end of Esau's world, his kingdom, his rulership. See? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And when this place, Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, is destroyed in an hour, tells us in the book of Revelation, the kingdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to follow. And it's going to take over. Clean this wicked-ass place up. So again, I was going to go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15 to show that all of this, what's going on in these college universities. You saw that was a video on Columbia University, the protests cranking up. They had to call in the police to get these people to calm down, these college students that are supposed to be smart and highly intelligent, but just a bunch of dummies. They're not going to stop what's going on in Israel. They're not going to stop prophecy. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, let's start at verse 14. Because again, as I said, this is prophecy. It's going to get worse and worse and worse here in Babylon the Great, ultimately leading to World War III, the destruction of Babylon the Great, and the saving of the elect. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, starting at verse 14. Woe or destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's what you see right here. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men. Let's get the definition for that word sedition. Because that's what you see right here, sedition. Sedition among men. Sedition, sedition, meaning, right? That's what you see. That's what you just saw, sedition.
Sedition.
Sedition is overt conduct such as speech or organization that tends toward rebellion against the established order. Isn't that what you just saw in the video? Organization toward rebellion against who? Against the government, against policies, against what's going on all the way on the other side of the world. Sedition often includes subversion of a constitution, and that's what we see. And incitement of discontent toward or insurrection against established authority. What is a simple definition of sedition? Sedition is the illegal act of inciting people to resist or rebel against the government in power. And that's what we see the students doing here at Columbia University and at UCLA. See? They're rebelling against the government, against the mayors, against the governors, against the presidents. See? It's what it says. It's what the Southern states did at the start of the Civil War. Sedition is the rebellious talk and encouragement that might lead to a mutiny and can be charged as a crime like treason. You heard them. That's why the police officers, they said they arrested 109 people. See, okay, so that's sedition. Let's go back to the precept. First, let me say double honors and blessings. I pray, Baba Kashah, for the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach us this truth. Salutations and blessings. Shalom to the 144,000, the 1/3, and the rest of the hopeful elect men, women, and children scattered abroad of the nation of Israel. My name is Aria Al Yahawada of GMS Hawaii, coming at you with another video. Lord willing, it will be edifying. To first and foremost magnify the name of the Heavenly Father, which is Yahweh, meaning He is, and His only begotten Son. The one whom people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, that is not His name. His name is Yahushai, which means Savior and Deliverer for the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, in particular, the elect. See Matthew 24:30 and 31. When Yahushua makes His second return in all power and glory, He's coming to not only destroy this place, but He's coming to save and deliver the elect, the chosen ones. Okay, but again, getting back to this video, and as I said, Lord willing, it will be edifying. We are living in a time of prophecy. The scriptures also call it the last days. What does it mean by the last days? The last days of Esau's world, Esau's kingdom. Esau, Edom is the so-called white man, the wicked one. See, his time is running out. And that's why you're going to see things ramp up and get worse and worse and worse, leading right up to the famine of the word, Jacob's trouble, the MOTB, and World War III. Lord willing, in that order. You know? Again, 2 Ezra 15, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men. And I just gave you the definition, right, of that word sedition. And we saw it on a video at Columbia University, where I just showed. See high levels of sedition. You know, these college students are protesting because of what's going on around the world, on the other side of the world, with Gaza and Israel and all that. But what they don't realize also, they're just fulfilling prophecy. They're fulfilling prophecy because it says it right here. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard or not respect their kings. Who are the kings? The mayors, the governors, the presidents. Nor their princes. Who are the princes? The police officers. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see what they're doing? They're going off. They're getting arrested because of their sedition. See? And as it says, it's going to get worse and worse. See, verse 17, it's going to get to a point where a man shall desire to go and sit to a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Hell, you have men afraid now. But it's going to get worse and worse because this is all, as it said, as it says in verse 12, Egypt shall mourn. Who is modern day Egypt? America, Babylon. And the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High, Yahweh Shai, shall bring upon it. See, all this sedition, all these things that are going on around the world, the earthquakes and the thunderstorms and the tornadoes and twisters, this is all punishment from Yahweh Shai. Number one, for what Babylon the Great has done to the Israelites, you know. And number two, this place is wicked, man. This place is fucked up. This place has to be destroyed, and it's going to be destroyed slowly but surely. You see, the Lord is slowly ramping it up. So that's 2 Ezra 15, verse 16, sedition among men, and we see that sedition. Now, let me go to Blue Letter Bible, more signs of the last days, 2 Timothy. And that's what we do here at Great Millstone. We look at what's going on around the world, the incidents and what have you, and we filter it through the scriptures to show you that it's not just coincidence, it's not accidental. This is prophetic. This is prophecy. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 1. And these are all signs of the last days. You know, I'm going to read 2 Timothy 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. And you're going to see the things that 2 Timothy spoke of is exactly what's going on today. Last days. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. What's perilous time? That word perilous means dangerous. These are dangerous times. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Do we not see all this going on today? So what does that mean? That means that we are living in the last days. This place is about to implode. But it's all through the spirit of Yahweh Shai. See? All through the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Real quick, I'm going to go to Psalms chapter 7 and verse 11 to show how the Lord feels about this, about the wicked. Psalm chapter 7 and verse 11, because contrary to what you Christians in these churches be teaching, God is not love all the time. You see? The Most High, Yahweh Shai, doesn't love everybody. He has his own specific set of people, the Israelites, that he loves. And in this case, the elect, 2/3 of Israel, the Bible tells us, is going to be destroyed. Zechariah 13, verse 8. But this is Psalm 7:11. The Most High judgeth the righteous. Who's the righteous? Israel, his people. That's who he's judging first and foremost. And the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. See, he judges his people, and he's angry with the wicked every day, including the wicked Israelites, 2/3 of Israel, every day. There's not a day go by where the Lord is not angry with this place, because this place is wicked. Wicked, 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 and it's going to be destroyed. Now let's go back to, I was at 2 Timothy, and I'm going to close this out shortly, because I don't want to make it too long. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous or dangerous times shall come. And we're living in those dangerous times, those perilous times. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. So what is all this? These are signs, these are indications showing that we are living in the last days. Okay, that's what that is. without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers. Look at the NLT. They will be unloving and unforgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control. And we see this going on all around the world. People unloving, unforgiving, slandering others, having no self-control. They will be cruel. Let me highlight that. They will be cruel and hate what is good. See, do we not see that? They will betray friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride, and love pleasure rather than God, rather than the Most High. And we see that today. We see all this. All these are signs that we're living in the end. That's why now is the time to do what? To seek ye the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Hashai, while he may be found. Because when that destruction kicks in, Jacob's trouble, famine of the word, you know, and all that comes with it, all of this destruction, the only way to be saved is to seek ye the Lord while he may be found. You see? What was I about to look up? Let's see. Salakia, 1 second. Get another video. On this Columbia protest thing. Very tense, scary. Ooh, let's see what that's about. Yeah, it's gonna get scary out here.
Joining us now is Jessica Schwab, a junior at Columbia University. Jessica, thank you for being with us this morning. You were there and you actually filmed when protesters broke into Hamilton Hall. You were there last night. Take us back to, well, that first series and then what you saw last night.
Yeah, so I arrived at Hamilton Hall not really knowing what to expect until I saw a crowd accumulate, and then I saw students who were already inside Hamilton Hall. They seemed to have like sleeping bags or bags that made it seem as though they were going to be staying inside Hamilton Hall. And then I saw a student bash the windows in with a hammer and then proceed to put a bike lock around the outdoor door handles and then zip tie the other door handles of the second door at Hamilton Hall. And then students were shoving furniture up inside to barricade the inside and then shoving tables, very heavy metal tables with groups of pro-Palestinian protesters, and they were putting them as an outer barricade and then taking more tables, zip tying those two together and just to compound that barricade, and then using a human chain as a third barricade.
So, Jessica, a few times you said I saw students breaking in, I saw students moving in. Are you certain that the ones that were actually breaking and entering were students?
I noticed some of them were students.
See, taking their ass to jail. Very tense, scary atmosphere at Columbia University. Yeah, things are going to continue to ramp up and get worse and worse because we're living in the end. We're living in the last days. Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai is about to take this place down, take Esau down, Edom, the so-called white man. And after this video plays, I'm going to end it. That's all I have to say on this. Lord willing, it's edifying.
Their faces did look familiar, and there were certainly people there who were not students. They almost seemed like professional burglars, which made it even more scary because they don't have anything to lose. And so when you're dealing with a situation like that, there's so much unpredictability, and they don't care for the safety of the university or the sanctity of its property. So that just heightens the level of fear.
Jessica, how do you feel at Columbia? Do you feel safe? Have you felt safe?
Recently, this past week, I have not felt safe. It has been a very tense, very scary atmosphere. However, last night when I noticed that the tents had come down, it felt like I could finally breathe deeply again, knowing that there wasn't this constant space of animosity and, like I said, unpredictability about how people were going to view you. Wearing a keffiyeh, or if you weren't wearing a mask, and you should be allowed to wear whatever you'd like without being antagonized for your beliefs and have equal access to the spaces on campus that we all pay for.
I just, how do you feel? How do you process this as a student? You know, I mean, you're studying this the 15th of this May. We're 1st of May today. Some students are going to be graduating. What's it like?
It's very tough. It's extremely distracting. I was speaking to one student, and she was trying to study for her MCATs, and she said that 3 protesters came into Butler Library with a megaphone yelling "Free Palestine." And, you know, we could have noise-canceling headphones, but their chants you can hear very, very clearly. It's extremely disruptive. And again, a lot of the Jewish students on campus, they have decided some not to come and some to take their classes virtually, and others, they deal with the fear and choose to remain on campus because they don't want to reward these protesters' scare tactics.
It's an extraordinary state of.
All right, so I'm going to end it on that. Lord willing, this was edifying. On to the next one, Lord willing. Shalom.